Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
For some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Rufino's on Highland Road, welcome to the Friday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro, Jordan Kinchin's back in the studio. Glad that you are with us today. Hope you're having a good Friday. And
it's not Good Friday, Charlie.
I said
that was last week.
I hope you're having a good Friday.
Okay.
I should have said, I hope you're having a great Friday.
Hey, there you
so
go.
Much,
there you go. Not to confuse Holy Week, Charlie.
When you're watching the Masters, it constitutes a pretty great Friday, I think. Man, enjoyed going out after the show yesterday, just sitting and watching the tournament yesterday. And Sam Burns, we followed Sam so closely over the years, being an LSU guy. It's not like we've never seen an LSU guy up near the top before. Smiley Kaufman, we talked about that a little bit, was in the final group on a Sunday. But Sam has got all the game to win a major. I think he's going to win a major. In fact, I think he's going to win more than one in his career. But the opportunity, the little open. Yeah, I think he's 29 years old, and I think he's just entering his prime years. I think there's a major out there for him. I think that maybe there's more than one over the course of his career. But the Masters is no given, okay? So when you get an opening like this,
I don't think any major is a given.
They're not.
Because to this point, I would say he's been a little bit of a disappointment for me. He was, number one junior in the world, led LSU to the national championship. I mean, that path. I mean, you think he did contend, and he did get a dose of bad luck with all the water. Playing into puddles, into U.S. Open. But I thought he would have more wins at this point.
Okay.
I mean, you didn't think so?
It's hard to say. I thought that
if you saying he's going to win multiple, you would have. I think your money would have been on he'd have a major by now.
Yeah, probably so. Probably by the age of 29, but he's put himself in position a few times, and maybe he's ready.
Has he?
Well, Oakmont was
that's
was a good
besides
position.
that.
He was.
He's been a disappointment in the majors.
At the Masters, he's been a disappointment for sure. I think he's put himself in position to be competitive in a lot of these things.
Well,
he just hasn't. He hadn't broken through yet. Maybe this is the time. The first million's the hardest. The first major's the hardest.
Well, for instance, it was not up for discussion. Was it? How often did they play a Ryder Cup?
Every 2 years.
The 2 years ago. This time he was barely,
Yeah.
So I don't know. This could all have a different sort of tone to it or light on it. Had he won, because I thought he was going to get that one at the U.S. Open.
It was close, and he's just for the he's got 2 top 10s in majors, both of them at the U.S. Open the last 2 years.
Okay.
That's his 2. He's got a handful of other top 30s. Okay,
yes, and it's his game has been. He's been a disappointment in the majors. That was the storyline with him, that he was like, man, when's he going to get comfortable with the majors? When's he going to have a good showing?
So is this it?
Well, here we go. I mean, he started out. I think he started out pretty strong. Was it last year or the year before at the Masters too? And I mean, really smoking early. But I don't know, Charlie. I mean, he's 4th choice entering today. Is that right?
Yeah.
With Rory
at the beginning of the day. Yeah.
Scheffler, Xander, and then him.
Yeah.
So there's that's he's never woken up on a Friday with that. I mean, the one that Scheffler, the first Masters one, Scheffler, he didn't miss a cut, right? Because he left.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
I mean, this is his roommate.
I'll tell you what I think he's got going for him, at least today, is how many national stories did you see about the Masters yesterday? A ton, right? How many did you see?
I mean, poor Laura Rutledge has to interview every Tom, Dick, and Harry.
For a first-round leader, didn't he get less attention than most first-round leaders because the other guy leading it is Rory McIlroy? Trying to go back-to-back. Everybody thought Rory McIlroy's leading
sometimes he got a lot of run on the national sort of headlines, with like the serious sports updates. Sam Burns and Rory McIlroy. Sam Burns. There were some that Rory McIlroy on top of the leaderboard and didn't mention him, to your point.
Yeah. So maybe a little bit less pressure.
No, he's under. He's under the radar compared to the absolutely no argument there. Yeah. So maybe settling in and listen, man. That's a strong U.S. Open. I mean, look, that who knows, but I sure wish. I think there's no way to ever prove it. But I'm saying those conditions, how they, how it got wet all of a sudden, I think that hurt his chances.
Yeah.
I mean, because he just, you talk about seeming comfortable. So coming off
and
of
that one ruling where he was in the puddle.
It was terrible,
awful,
man. He asked for a second opinion. They said, no, hit it and splash before he even makes contact with the ball. Yeah.
The rest of the story yesterday, the highest first-round scoring average in 10 years at 74. Couple of monster names, and Bryson DeChambeau and John Rahm had awful days. Rahm's worst, worst in a Masters or worst in a major, I think. Worst round.
That's the one that surprised me.
Yeah,
I mean, we were at Iverson yesterday, and I'm like, wait, is this a replay? This is the third shot out the bunker for DeChambeau.
Yeah. And Rahm shooting the 78. Now, he's come back with a strong front nine today at 2 under to put himself on the cut line, but he's going to have to hustle a little bit.
So he's got one Masters, right?
Yeah.
And you remember that one. That one of the rounds was finished in the puddles. Remember, there was some standing water.
Yeah.
Here,
a little bit.
But that one shocked me. He was my pick for this thing. If I got in mid tournament, it'd be Rory. I think Rory. I enjoyed. Boy, he just seems so relaxed.
Relaxed is the word.
I mean, he was so comfortable in the cabin with SVP after, and they're talking about it. He said, "Man, I didn't really hit my driver well for like the first 5 holes or something, but I hung in there." And so he seems. And the other thing was with the fact, why are the scores so high?
That's a technical golf question.
It's
dry,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, Max was telling us about, man, they've been waiting for this. Rarely is it this dry, and it's expected to remain dry. Little bit of wind, not much. But did you watch this? Every putt was short. Everything was short.
Well, they were scared to death.
I know, but over and over. Mm-hmm. And Scheffler's like, look at, I mean, and then the announcer's like, most guys have been short on this one. I mean, he's 5 feet short. I mean, way short, Charlie.
Our man Freddie Couples was hanging in there till the back end, and he makes a 9 on
him and Bobby Mack. Cowboy Mack.
Okay, so he got himself in a little trouble yesterday. The McNeese product. He shot 80.
Did him and Willie Wade hang out?
I have no idea.
Did Roos and Mack, Bobby Mack, play a little golf, huh?
I know that he got a little bit flustered yesterday. The 9, he made a obscene gesture towards the green because it was the green's fault, right? But everybody can relate to that if you've ever played.
Poor Scottish, the Scottish Lake Charles pipeline. But I mean, yes, I was
slamming the clubs. He just and so after all of that,
wait, the one he slammed a club
was 17.
It worked out. It worked out good. He says the announcer says, not the best, not what he planned, but man, the result is way better than the swing.
Right. So imagine you're him. You go home. You're gonna get fussed at from the Masters guys for flipping off the green. You're gonna
miss that.
Yeah, I didn't see it on TV, but we heard about it. And the Masters people are they're pretty strict about that stuff. And so you got all night to think about that. You got an 80. You're almost certainly not going to make the cut. And he comes out and doubles number one this morning. I mean, you talk about having a bad day. He's got a couple of birdies since then.
Because he's kind of a likable guy.
He is. He kind of lost his cool. Lost his cool a little bit.
He lost to the course yesterday too. So.
Patrick Reed shot 3 under. He goes off here in about an hour. Sam Burns goes off here in about 20 minutes.
What do you think Sam shoots today?
Boy, I tell you what.
Just if he can get even par.
I think so, too. Yeah, the adrenaline of yesterday, don't come out and back it up with a 75 or something like that. Go in at 72, 5 under going into the weekend is a perfectly, whether you're on the lead or not, probably not, but that's a perfectly reasonable score. You will put yourself in position to win the golf tournament if you shoot 72 today.
What do you think the leader's going to be after today?
They're projecting to cut it +3, so I'm going to say somewhere around 7 under.
Really?
Ish.
Okay.
Yeah, I think one person. Now, one person will get hot with the.
Okay.
To 7.
Ain't going to be many. I don't know if he's going to get that 7, Charlie.
Like Wyndham Clark came out and shot 3 under on the front 9 today.
Scheffler's 2 over today.
Scheffler's 2 over. Wyndham Clark came out and shot 3 under on the front 9. Now he's even on the back. So. And Terrell Hatton shot 4 under on the front 9. So there's some scores to be had. Yeah. So there's some scores to be had out there. And you got some really good guys going off in the afternoon, obviously, that are right there in striking distance to the lead, like Reed and Shane Lowry and Xander Schauffele. So somebody going to get hot, and I'm going to say 7.
Well, I was contacted by Humans. It didn't take a 54-hole champion to or 63-hole champion to He did it midstream in the first round yesterday. Ludwig.
Oh yeah. He had what
I mean, he was hot. Boom! Here he comes. He's cheap speed. He's on the lead, but I mean, he
couple of doubles at the par 5-13 was where he had one of those doubles yesterday.
You know, Humans being the kind and gentler, sensitive guy says this guy's a mental midget. I don't know about that. What's that? It's usually Sunday.
Yeah.
Hey, hello there.
He's got so much talent, and I mean he looks like a guy that
he's got a beautiful swing.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to win.
And he has the demeanor where I wouldn't expect him to get tight. I don't know. Does he ever seem out of control? Kind of like
he's not emotional. No, he's not emotional at all. Not emotional.
But where he's from, is it a real gritty place, Charlie?
Never been, but you wouldn't think.
No, probably not.
No, I think probably just the
Scandinavian hockey teams. Those guys are tough, though.
They're the ones that end up in all the fights in the Olympics, right? The
I don't know.
Guys. Yeah, a little bit.
Maybe he had to swing a little bit growing up. Justin Rose, of my Justin Rose first round. I know it was not the usual odds, but I mean, he hadn't bogeyed in how many holes at the Augusta, and he bogeyed 3 different ones. But it came down to 17, and he's in position, but just couldn't finish it
because he birdied both of the par 5s, but he bogeyed in between. He bogeyed at 14. He missed about a 12,
he just missed a putt
12,
there,
14-foot putt, yeah. Makeable, but not easy.
He just missed a putt.
Oh, today?
And you saw him. He got a lot of roll on his on that par 5, that last par 5, drive, and he went for it. He's showing some emotion. He is not happy with that miss putt right there. So
I thought
he drops. I'm sorry. He missed an opportunity for back-to-back birdies. He remains at -2.
I thought 14 was the one that got him because he birdied the 2 par 5s.
That's his first bogey. That broke his bogey. Yeah, bogey-free streak.
If he pars that hole, and it was about a 12, 14-foot putt. If he does that, he's going to go to 17 with a share of the lead. I thought I had the same bet you did. I thought if he'd have parred 14, it would have gotten really interesting. And he comes home bogey. We're here at Rufino's.
Mr. Curtis is bartending today, so
right.
We got a little bit of a shift, so that's always good. The Swamp Wings, Charlie, our appetizer feature today: crispy frog legs and oysters, buffalo sauce, blue cheese Mornay with the crevettes that they're served on. The crawfish dip, it's a creamy crawfish and lobster bechamel, sweet corn, Louisiana crawfish tails, pork cracklings. The entree features today, our fish today is a pan-seared grouper with eggplant and kale caponata, tomato agrodolce. Suggested wine pairing is a Frank Family Chardonnay out of Napa, and the grilled rack of lamb. The boy, Patrick is trying to kill him. I want you to say it. I want you to say that. Shakshuka?
Shakshuka.
There you go. Serrano peppers, jelly, and the mint gremolata with suggested wine pairing. Seems like every time you do a lamb, it's a Pinot Noir. It's a Morgan Pinot Noir out of Santa Lucia. And our beverage featured smoked maple old-fashioned, house-barreled aged, bacon-washed, Old Forester bourbon. How about that?
Might have to try that when the show
There
is
you go.
over today.
Live at shot.
Live at Rufino's, live at lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Odd and Hanny from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Let's go out to San Diego, talk to professional sports gambler Chris Massaro. So we're winding down on the college basketball season, Masters, and this is where he really, somewhat lost a little bit of your mind sweating at Oklahoma City to win the Western Conference last year. So we're getting ready for the NBA playoffs. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm a little embarrassed that I gave out Illinois on the show last week, and I still think there's something up with those rims. If you watch those games, even when Michigan and UConn were shooting to the left side of the TV screen, nothing was going in. I'm not exactly sure of the stats on the three-pointers, but very low and a lot of missed shots at the rim. Very questionable rims in that arena. So it'd be nice if we could go back to the days when we played at the Pit for the national championship or some of the regular smaller basketball arenas. But we know that's a pipe dream. That's never going to happen.
Yeah, McNichols was the last Denver. I think Utah. I'm sorry, UNLV and Duke, right?
1990.
Yeah, McNichols, where the Nuggets played in Denver. Oh, come on, Chris. Now UConn shot on the same rims.
No. What I'm saying is both the first. I agree, and they both shot terrible on those rims. That's what I'm saying. All four teams, when they shot at that end of the court, had way lower percentages than when they shot at the other end of the court. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I should have done a little bit more of a deep dive. That was just an eye test type of thing. That Illinois game, the first half. How many balls? Then he had that ball that actually sat. It rolled backwards. It was almost like there was a magnet or something into the ball.
I've been in the Final Four in Indianapolis, and it was atrocious shooting. I really didn't know if LSU was going to score 20 points by half, and they barely did against UCLA and Ben Holland.
You got to tip your hat to Dusty May. They said they played the game in the outdoor in the big house. They practiced shooting outside. So obviously, UConn, not UConn, but Arizona obviously wasn't practicing shooting at all because they couldn't throw it into the ocean. But a little bit disappointing with the games, although the end of the national championship game was pretty exciting due to the fact that the spread was on the line, back and forth. You got a banked-in three. You got Michigan missed 2 free throws after making 23 straight. So there was a little bit of excitement at the end.
It was a Midler's dream, so that works out as far as I'm concerned. But we've been talking about this for a long time as far as the depth perception. When they get to the Final Four and the nerves as well. One of Tarkanian's better teams. They were favored to win it all in '87 down in the Superdome when I was there, and man, they just didn't make anything. And Steve Alford couldn't miss from three, and they were underdogs in that semifinal game against UNLV. So that's nothing new. Talking about the depth perception, in the big stadiums. And there's a lot of bad seats in those. Probably one of the worst seats I had was in San Antonio in the late '90s in the Alamo Dome. So, but anyway, who you sweating on for the Masters, huh?
I played a couple of the big dogs. Scheffler seems to be going in reverse this morning. I do have a couple hopes. I have Patrick Reed and Hatton's making a move today. He's 4 under. I have Hatton at a monster number, like 121 to 1. But I went with DeChambeau and I went with Scheffler. I couldn't get away from the 6-1. I'm like, you never can get Scheffler at 6-1. But I talked with the coach before the tournament. He said he didn't think it could happen. I talked with a Pro One driver this morning, and he said you got to play. You just can't just pop into the Masters after taking a month off and expect to have everything, have all the rust off, and that's showing. It's surprising though because he was 3 under through 3. And you thought, hey, Scotty hasn't started out fast all year. Maybe this is going to be his tournament. And now he's 2 over today, and he's back to even par.
Yeah, Charlie. When he started yesterday, you're like, I've got everybody but the world's number one. I mean,
and look, there are markets out there just specifically for that, or you can take your chances that Scotty's. You can bet it without him, or you can take your chances that he's just not going to fire. And give me everybody. How many times at the horse races do we throw out the favorite? So we're just going to throw out the favorite,
right?
Like the Kentucky Derby. We're going to throw out the favorite, and we're going to try to build around, the second, third, fourth choice.
Whatever it was, 7, 18, 19 top 10s, and then now 3 straight non-top 10s. Berth. I mean, took some time off. I mean, it just seems if there's ever a vulnerable time. But he does know the course. He does like the course, and course familiarity. I just missed with Justin Rose. I know it was not at the usual price, but be the first-round leader, a co-leader.
I was. I was with you.
You were with me too.
I was with you too, Jimmy. Yeah, he was right there, and you figured, if I can just get birdie one of the last 2 holes, and he ends up bogeying both of them.
I mean, where did that come from? I mean,
it was weird.
See, I thought the one at 14 was the one. If he goes to 17 on the lead, maybe it plays out a little different.
Yes,
we'll never know. But
sure.
The one at 14 that he missed, it wasn't an easy putt, but it was a makeable putt, and that was his first bogey. And I thought that kind of got him a little bit off track, even though he came back and birdied 15.
What's your thoughts on Sam Burns? Give us an outside perspective, because he was a number 1 junior in the world. He's a Louisiana product. He came through LSU. He led them to the national championship. We thought that the sky's the limit for this guy.
Well, the one thing that you keep hearing about him is that he's the greatest putter on the tour right now. So that's very important. As you guys are talking, like the greens are super fast. They're afraid to hit it past it. A lot of putts, especially Scheffler. He had 2 that came up short, and then on the next opportunity for birdie, he went a little more tempo, and he kind of rimmed out the back of the hole. So being the best putter in the world at the moment, that's definitely going to help. We'll see if he can. It's tough to go to bed the first night as a leader in the Masters. Although he did benefit from the fact that no one's really talking about him because Rory had the big day. So he's definitely a viable candidate. I don't have anything on him. I'll be rooting against both him and Rory. Hopefully one of my guys can get into the mix. And when you have such big odds, you can, obviously play. Although it is tough to hedge golf, you get yourself in trouble. But you want to have a couple guys up there on the last couple of days, and especially on Sunday, where you can kind of make a profit out of this thing. One thing I want to bring up about the Final Four again is everyone who knows me or listens to me or follows me on X or whatever knows I like to play future parlays. And I'm going to dive more into next year, not only having the winner, but trying to get some tickets as soon as the sports books put out Final Four odds, because that way you can win more than once. Obviously, the odds are depressed, but I was able to play some tickets this year on Michigan just to make the Final Four. I had one with UConn, which I didn't have at all to win anything, but I had them to make the Final Four because I thought they were going to get the number 1 seed in the East. They ended up with a 2 seed, still made it. There's just a lot more ways where you can get creative and have more than a couple teams that make the Final Four instead of just having the winner, where who knows what can happen. You might have an injury like what happened to Luxembourg, what happened to Solo Ball. You just don't know. So it's a lot less risky. You have a lot better chance to win. And in the future parlays, you can have an opportunity if you can kind of play around the country, not just using all the teams in the same area. Hopefully you can get a couple different teams in each bracket where you have a chance to capitalize on getting to the Final Four.
I thought that was the biggest storyline of the damn championship game. I mean, Axel's not close to where he was. I mean, he is the best player.
He wasn't even diving for loose balls.
Yeah, no, I mean, you ever see a guy saying, I got nothing, I feel like crap.
And they played 20 minutes in the first half anyway.
Well, but where they finally gave him a break in the second half, and he was a little bit more effective. But, yeah, May's pushed a lot of right buttons this season. That was not one of them, playing him a full 20 minutes in the first half. All right, what's our annual future? What are we sweating for these NBA playoffs and with all your future parlays that you have going on?
So I sent you a funny ticket this morning, and it just, it's one of those things when I'm in a gambling state and I can play some of the I don't play many props, so I like to play them on Monday night when I'm in, like, say, Vegas, or I'm in, like, Boston, or I'm in wherever I can get access to some of these props. So I played these two funny props. They're like a total of $125 or something. It was a $65 parlays each, and they were both for Devin A. Chain. I remember it was a Monday night game against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh ended up winning. Miami, choked it away again. It was an outdoor game with Tua. But everyone was on Devin A. Chain rushing yards, and I'm like, I'm going to take the opposite. I'm going to go receiving yards. So he went over his receiving yards by a mile. So it was like a plus 500 type of thing with his whatever his prop was. So I included it with Arizona and Michigan, who at the time were the two best Ken Palm teams and the two best, eye test teams I had saw so far. And I put them with Spurs West. And the Spurs at that time were like 50-1 to win the West. So basically I had $65 on Michigan and or Arizona with the Spurs to pay $25,000. So now I have the Spurs for the West at $25,000. I have a bunch of other ones with OKC, and on the East side, I'm sweating out the Knicks in Detroit. I don't have anything on Boston because I didn't think Tatum was coming back, and I like to do this stuff way out. And I'm not a big James Harden fan, so I'm going to toss the Cavs. I'm going to try to root for the Knicks and the Pistons to get there in the East, and OKC and the Spurs to get there in the West.
Yeah, you dollar question, Charlie. I mean, the Spurs look great, but they don't have a whole lot of playoff seasoning. It's such a different game, in there.
And that's
why.
In
the postseason.
And how many times they beat the Thunder in the regular season?
No, they owned them.
3 out of 4, yeah.
No, they owned them minus one game at OKC. Of course, the Christmas game when they went to OKC and destroyed them was one of them.
Watch it
so
flip
the
in
matchup,
playoffs.
But they got to beat Denver to get there now.
Yeah, if they get
so they got
Oklahoma City.
OKC made sure they secured that number one seed.
That number one seed 3 years in a row, which they've done now, it's only been done like a half a dozen times, and it's some of the iconic Laker and Celtic and Bull teams. That's a big thing. When you are that good for that long a period of time, it means you got something special.
Chris, we've been to Del Mar a ton, Saratoga a lot. I don't know if you've been to Keeneland, but I have multiple times. I mean, it is the third best on my list. There's no doubt. You're looking at the card today at Keeneland.
Yeah, it was a very, very contentious card. I think this early pick 5 is going to pay blockbuster numbers, but I'm not going to give out a pick 5 ticket. But I am going to let you know, and I have been to Keeneland. I was there for Breeders' Cup.
Okay.
I was there for an opening day. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a little small for the amount of people that get in there, so it gets a little tight. But the weather, if you can catch a beautiful day, is terrific. If you can avoid the rain, there's a lot of beautiful sights. There's a lot of great restaurants. I really love going to Lexington. But today in the 8th race, there's a horse I'm looking at. It's the 7 horse, Going Steady. Jimmy, you're familiar with that term. Going Steady, 10-1. And what caught my attention was Robert Medina, pretty decent trainer. He's got Flavian Pratt riding for him. And I thought that was kind of curious that Flavian Pratt will be riding for Medina. So that makes me think that this horse is live. It's off a 3-month freshening, but his last race was a stake race at Oaklawn. Had a little bit of trouble, and he needs some speed to run into. And there's going to be a lot of speed up front. 3, 4, and 5 is going to be the speed. The horses to beat are the 4 and the 6, but those two are off light class. They just off maiden wins, so obviously they were impressive in their maiden scores. But I think they're a little overvalued because they're light on class. I like the 7 to come running late with Flavian Pratt. 10-1. I hope we get that number. We probably won't, but Going Steady, the 7 horse in the 8th race today at Keeneland.
Very good. Good luck to you, sir. We'll be on him. We'll be tailing you on race 8, number 7. Going Steady, Charlie. It's the last time you went steady, Charlie.
But I've been going steady about the last 20 years.
Okay.
Roughly.
You're better at that going steady thing than me. There you go. Sarah, you're the best. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
All right. Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title. For all of your real estate closings, 296-0060. Full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Our great team at Legacy Title. Ashley Donald, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Mariana Haynes, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds at Legacy Title, 296-0060. No Troy Macker, so we're getting Max to weigh in on his Sam Burns commentary.
We'll do that when we come back. Live at Rufino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Odd and Hanny from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net, Handycast at YouTube on LSU Baseball. Brought to you by Supreme Rice, celebrating 90 years in business here in 2026. Supporting our Louisiana farmers. Go to SupremeRice.com. You
Love me some Supreme Rice, baby.
What you cooking tomorrow when we watch the Masters? You got some
steaks.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Bring some Supreme crawfish too.
Well, I'm not cooking crawfish tomorrow, Charlie.
I know.
Steaks, and I do a twice baked potato casserole
appetizer
with fresh bacon bits.
Maybe I'll bring an appetizer.
Sour cream, some cheese. You go bring that Gentilly cake, okay?
Gentilly cake, I can do that.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
You know the difference between a Chantilly and a Gentilly?
I don't.
One comes from Rouse's.
Okay. That's the one I'm bringing.
Yes. And it's got more fruit in it.
That's the one I'm
that's
what I'm bringing.
I was in Rouse's, a young couple, when I was getting one, and they said, excuse me, sir, what's the difference between a Chantilly cake and a Gentilly cake? Like, people from South Louisiana, there's kind of some area in New Orleans called Gentilly, and they said sound like it.
They didn't know it. They didn't know where you were from.
No, well, I mean, no. They didn't know. But I mean, that's my theory. I don't really know, but I'm. No,
you sold it, man. You sold it to me. It sounded good. It sounded good. You sounded like you knew what you're talking about.
Max, what's going on, man? Come on. What the hell's going on in Augusta?
Well, Sam Burns just got off on the first hole.
Okay.
He hit the fairway. He hit the green. He has about 16 feet for birdie on the first hole to take the solo lead.
Tour's best putter?
He's up there. I
Okay.
would maybe put a couple people up there with him. Denny McCarthy and, there are a couple others. But, yeah, he's in top 5 for sure. And we'll see if he continues his play from yesterday. Very consistent, throughout the board. Every club in the bag, it seemed like he was hitting well. Sometimes he's a little dependent on that putter or maybe his driver, but his iron play was great yesterday. We'll see if he can keep that up. The course is playing a little bit easier today than it was yesterday. The hole locations are a little bit easier, a little more accessible, a little more in some of these bowls that you can use the slopes to help you out. We've seen a couple rounds of 4 under par so far. Wyndham Clark is 4 under. He started the day even par, so he is now in solo third at 4 under. He is on the last hole of the day, 18. And then 4 under par as well is Tyrrell Hatton. He's through 10, so he's got a couple more par 5s to go. We'll see if he can survive Amen Corner, but he is now 2 under for the tournament. That's tied for 8th. They're the big movers of the day, but I expect to see a couple more 4, 5 under par rounds today just because of the hole locations. It is still spicy, though. The cut is going to be 4 over par, maybe even 5 over par by the end of the day. It is firm and fast. It is crispy. It could get even really dicey on the weekend. We heard a comment yesterday from Minwoo Lee who said early in the week he didn't think it was that firm and fast. He kind of thought it was maybe overhyped. But yesterday he felt like the course conditions were similar to what you'd see on a Saturday at Augusta. So it was Thursday, felt like Saturday with how firm and fast the greens were. Now you're going to see some putts miss short a lot today. That's more out of fear.
That was yesterday.
Well, you saw that especially yesterday afternoon. It was dry. There was no humidity in the air, so the greens were even faster. And so you have people who they're not really slower than they think. They're just so scared of the comeback. They're so scared to run them by the hole.
Petrified because it was one after the next, after the next, after the next. I mean, even I'm trying. By the way, it was not the past prices, but Justin Rose at 35-38 to 1 to be first round leader was worth a shot, and he was right there. And I'm like, don't leave this thing. And I was like, hit it at least halfway on that little chip, and he hit it about a third of the way, and it fell about 12, 14 feet short. So short. No announcers. Most people are short today. I mean, Scheffler was losing it. He was kind of, and we've seen a little bit of this that you've talked about. Kind of his, it's easy to be when you're rolling, but we've seen him a little bit more aggravated.
Yeah, a little.
And then we've used to seeing maybe because he's usually on top of the world.
A little prickly. He's a competitor.
Prickly,
he's
Charlie.
Showing that.
Max said prickly.
Okay.
I don't know if Augusta would like that. Honestly, they might.
They're dealing with.
This is live at lunch. Prickly is perfectly fine. So.
Yeah.
They're dealing with your boy today.
Yeah.
They ain't got time for you. They're dealing with Bobby Mack today.
Yeah, he got a talking to. Apparently, it's been reported that.
What they tell him? It's St. Lake Charles, boy.
Well, he's using language and maybe flipping the bird. Yeah, let's just say.
Who's he flipping off?
The hole.
Oh,
number 15. Well, when you hit 2 in the water, I guess you get a little agitated. Fair enough there, but he's going to miss the cut more than likely this week. But Scotty Scheffler, you mentioned him. He just birdied 8, so he's now 1 over par for the day, 1 under for the tournament, 4 back of the co-leaders.
Yeah, with all his problems, he's 4 off the lead, and we're not even halfway through Friday yet.
Look, if you are under par after today, you're in the tournament. I don't know what the lead will end up being. Maybe Rory goes out and shoots 4 under par.
What is it? Because I disagree with Charlie. After today, what is the leader at?
I think the lead is 6 or 7.
Okay, Charlie.
I said 7.
I say lower. I say 5.
I don't think I think you're going to see. I mean, you saw Wyndham Clark. He's 4 under, almost done for the day. I think you're going to see maybe Rose. He's got the back 9. He's 3 under par. He's at the turn. Maybe he gets to 6 under, but I think 6 or 7. If you see Burns or Rory shoot under par at all today, that would be a great score for them, and they would have positioned themselves very well for the weekend.
Weren't you impressed with Rory yesterday?
No doubt, and maybe that pressure has lifted off his shoulders a little bit as see Justin Rose hit one very close on number 10, so he might get to 4 under par as well. But he was very comfortable, and even on the putts that he didn't make, he was giving them chances. He gave himself plenty of opportunities, and he was very in control of his round, which is hard to do. I mean, 1 bogey on number 3, but otherwise he had a stretch of 3 straight birdies from 13 to 15. And with these firm and fast conditions, it's all about patience. You can't go at every flag, but the few that they give you, which there are a few more today, if you're aggressive, are you able to miss in the right spots? Are you able to get up and down and not get yourself short-sided? And he was in control to where he was rarely in a position where he was in a tough spot. And that's something that's very notable. But he's gotten off to good first rounds in the past and failed to get it done. We've seen that before with Rory. But is it a little bit easier for him now that he's already got a
All right, a local boy in Sam Burns coming off of his best showing of a major. And we don't know for sure, but it sure seemed like the conditions that deteriorated hurt him in that. We all know about the rule where he got a second rule and he splashed it before he makes contact with his ball. We get that. That was kind of the final blow. But he started to kind of slide before that point. Does he have a chance, and is it fair that the tag on him was, man, he's just not performing in majors? Does he have a chance now? Is he set up to where, like, he's getting comfortable in these majors?
I think so. I think, his last 6 major starts, he's got 2 top 10s now, and specifically those were U.S. Opens. That was a 2024 U.S. Open at Pinehurst, number 2, a firm and fast golf course. Last year at Oakmont, a firm and very fast green golf course with a lot of undulation on the greens. Now, it did get not so firm and fast on Sunday when it rained a lot. But those are 2 golf courses that are similar in course conditions to what we're seeing this week at Augusta National. I can't say it enough, but it is playing so much firmer than what we've seen in recent years. Springtime in Augusta, it's just like what we get here. There's a lot of spring showers that come up, and it can soften the golf course. And while they have, the sub-air systems under the greens that can suck some of the water out, we've seen, pitch marks before in the past and, spinning back. And we're just not going to see that today. It's going to be, hit it to the front of the green and try to get it up to some of these locations or use the slopes. And I think that very much caters to where Burns has had the most success, which is U.S. Opens, where the course conditions are firm and fast. And this is the closest we've seen the Masters to U.S. Open-like conditions in at least a decade.
He shot 5 under yesterday when the course played its toughest.
Was it easier early yesterday?
It was about a half a shot easier.
Okay.
In the morning.
In the morning, okay.
Yeah.
The average score was the highest it's been in that first round in 10 years. So if you're playing on what is a golf course that, look, ate some of the best players in the world up yesterday. 8 up DeChambeau, 8 up John Rahm. And he goes out and he shoots 5 under. He's got a little bit of cover with McIlroy being on the lead, so he doesn't have quite the spotlight on him. There's some things I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But
he just told you. I mean, yeah. What do we know the U.S. Open for him? This guy just might be better on the tougher courses.
Okay,
that play tougher. I mean.
The other thing to mention, he gained over 1.3 strokes in all 4 categories, which I don't want to get too much into numbers, but his driver was good, his approach, his iron play was good, his wedges were good, his putter was good. He put up numbers that are similar to, I don't think it's happened at the Masters since Scottie Scheffler a few years ago when he won the green jacket. It was a great through-the-bag score that he put up yesterday.
Don't forget our friends at United Community Bank. Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Our great team of bankers, David Henry, David Campbell, Hunter Creed, Nicole Glover, Heath Meir, Prentice Wilkes. Stop on by and see how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at Rufino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Odd and Hanny from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we'll return here at Rufino's. Bruce Marshall will be with us at the top of the hour. So our high school sports aficionado here, Mitch Small, walked into the restaurant and gave us a little tidbit that I want to share on Masters Week. Both Patrick Reed and Sam Burns won the state championship in Louisiana as juniors. Burns won it at the Wetlands in Lafayette, and Reed won it at Beaver Creek. Here's the kicker part. Neither one of them played in it their senior year. Reed moved to a prep school in Georgia to get ready for college, and Burns was coming back from an amateur golf tournament, I don't know where, but wherever it was, he missed his flight on the way home. So didn't get a chance to. So both of them former Louisiana state champions as juniors, and neither one of them played as senior. There's your obscure trivia today, courtesy of Mitch Small, who was at the LHSA since I think high school sports were invented, right? So,
yes, indeed.
I also did not win the state championship my senior year, but that was just because I wasn't good. It was not because I missed a flight.
Where did you finish?
Ooh, I don't even remember. I don't think I made it to state.
Did you win the district? Were you the number one golfer on your team, Max? Because you're pretty good now. Okay.
I was the best on my team, but that was at really high. They've gotten a lot better since I've left. I'll tell you that.
What'd you shoot in general?
I was about an 80s golfer, right around 80, okay. 82. I wasn't competitive back then. But yeah, Patrick Reed, the Trey Winstead was in my grade. Okay. He was a really good player out at U-High. Yes, yeah. He's now on the Corn Ferry Tour, I believe, but. There's some good players in my division, but not me.
Speaking of LSU coaches and their kids, going to see Danny Bryan in the top 5 LSU men's tennis team against Kentucky. Another rank. His kid's really good too.
That's today.
Yeah, it's today, 5:30.
Okay.
Yeah. So watch the Masters till 5:15 and head on over. So looking forward to it.
Stuff going on all over the place. Hour number 2, straight ahead here at Rufino's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Odd and Hanny from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And welcome you back here at Rufino's. Up at the top of the leaderboard, Sam Burns is off through one, is at 5 under par for the tournament. Co-leader with Rory McIlroy. We've got our first guy on the leaderboard that's in the clubhouse today. Wyndham Clark finishes with a 4 under 68 to put him 4 under for the tournament. I advise he will not be beating up the locker room at this point.
No, you will
get banned there quickly.
Yeah. Justin Rose also has put himself into at 4 under par. He is 2 under for the day. He just finished at number 10. Terrell Hatton has the low round on the day so far. He is through 12 and is 5 under par. So he is lighting things up today. 5 birdies and no bogeys for Hatton, who's 2 shots off the lead. Patrick Reed is about to tee off. He is 3 under par, as is Shane Lowry. I think just went off along with Xander Schauffele going
Where's
here in about
Lowry
15
at now?
minutes. He is 2 under. Shot 70 yesterday. And Chris Gotterup, Max, we threw him out because he's never played there before, right? But
correct.
He's hanging around at 1 under par. He's got 4 birdies and 3 bogeys on the day, so he's been sort of all over the place. But there he is, just 4
Well,
shots.
he's had a
off the lead.
breakthrough season, and he's never played here before, so he probably needs a little seasoning, but we'll probably show some flashes, huh, Max?
Yeah, elite ball speed. He would have probably been more popular if he wasn't a debutant. Honestly, I think he would have been picked by a lot more people. But that's kind of a write-off for a lot of people when he's like that. Jacob Bridgman reminds me of that too. Another guy who shot 1 under par yesterday. He's even now for the tournament, but he's been playing really, really well, but just making his first start here. So it is worth noting with the firm and fast conditions on the greens, it's actually a little more paramount than normal to hit the fairway. There's not much of a second cut here. It's very short. It's not normally that difficult, but you need all the spin you can get to hold some of these greens. And so we're actually seeing a little bit more of a premium based on putting in the fairway, putting yourself in the right spot than normal, where you just are able to hit it as far as you want, and driving distance is more of the favorable trait to have.
Rose recovering from that little slide at the end. Bogey to finish yesterday.
Yes, and he's got about 5 feet for birdie on 11, a very difficult hole. Always plays difficult, so he looks like he might get in a tie for the lead, and he's right now in a great position considering he's 11 holes in, and a couple par 5s still to come, 13 and 15.
So if we bet him to be the first round leader and he takes the lead in the second round, what do we get?
$0.
Right,
you can
zero.
bet second round leader. You can bet it. I'm curious to see what his odds are actually right now.
I didn't, but I could. Well, we got a second here. LSU baseball tonight goes at 6:30 at Swayze Field. First of a 3-game set, 6:30 tonight, 4 o'clock tomorrow, and 1:30 on Sunday. Ole Miss at 5-7 in the SEC. Jimmy, we're going to see our old friend Hunter Elliott is going tonight.
Poor guy.
For Ole Miss. Led them to the national championship in 2022.
He was their best pitcher.
We rode him
as
all
a
the
freshman.
way. Yeah, as a freshman. Then basically missed basically all of 2 seasons.
Who was their kind of junior or senior guy that was pretty good, kind of a gutsy guy.
Oh, I know. I can see him, and I can't think of his name.
A D?
Yeah.
But Elliott was by far the best, and he was just – it was like plus 190 left and right against guys, and just shutting. But man, he is going through some arm injuries, huh?
Yeah, he really.
It's a
you
shame
missed 2 full years. I think
he missed 2 full years.
Pretty basically, yeah, 2 full years. Now I think of him. He's just a really good college pitcher. I don't know what the pros are going to think of him after.
Dylan DeLucia, thank you, Hunt.
That's it. I don't know what the pros are going to think of him after the injuries, but he is still a damn good college pitcher. And the ERA in league play is under 4. So he's just one of those guys. He's not eating up a lot of innings. But you look at tonight's matchup, and it's basically a picket game. And his ERA in SEC play is better than a full run, better than Case and Evans. Okay, but is LSU going to be able to get him out of the game before say? So
where are we at with the? Okay, we got Brucey on, but where are we at right now, Charlie? And we'll get to this a little bit later. But is LSU in the tournament right now?
Yeah, I would say they are, and I know the RPI is low, but yeah, I would say they are because of where they are in the Southeastern Conference.
2 seed.
If you're a 500 team in the Southeastern Conference, you have gotten in. So if I have to say today they're 6-6, yeah, they're in, but they don't have a whole lot of. They don't have a whole lot of slack.
Jimmy, they're ranked somehow right now. They're 24th in the country. Yes,
they have won back-to-back SEC series, and that'll do it. And there's plenty of room in the second half. If they win the SEC games, the RPI will take care of itself. And it doesn't, they're not going to make.
Well, we're getting a little deep, where you just keep throwing that RPI in the garbage can.
Because 12 of their final 15 SEC games are against top 20 RPI teams, and if you win,
well, that's a tough path to stake for.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you
for
win,
a team that's last in fielding percentage, last in wild pitches,
you didn't ask
second
me
to
if
last,
they were good. You asked me if they were in.
Are they going? Okay, no. Are they going? Okay, they're in now.
Yeah.
Are they going to be in?
I think they're going to get in. I do not think they're going to host. How's that? That's why.
Let's go to Bruce Marshall. Bruce is back with the Ghost. Bruce, are you doing all right?
Yeah, everything's good here. Sorry about a little mix-up on the phone this morning.
That's all right, Bruce. You know, I mean, it's Switzerland. The French Alps. Where with the first Super Bowl.
Jimmy's had this damn tennis tournament on his computer all week. He wishes he was there. Maybe that's where you need to go. It's a really nice place, right?
You've been to Monaco before, Bruce?
I've been close. I've been to Nice.
Yes, I stayed in Nice. Yeah.
I've never been to Monaco. No, I would get
So
there. I would really love to go to Augusta one of these years, but they want, if you know somebody who can get me in, let me know. I don't know Spurrier that well. He would get me in, but
if Max stays on the good list, we'll take him next year. So he's never going to win that damn lottery. He keeps. He's like he keeps waiting for Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny to come through the damn window too. So but if he behaves, we'll bring him there. If anybody deserves to go, and you know what, I know if we bring Max, Charlie, he's going to have it laid out. Where we got to go, what hole, where we going to go, this and we got to stay 45 minutes in this hole. He will have it mapped out, will he not?
He will be the ultimate patron.
So I learned this week what the domestic and the domestic beer and the overseas beer is.
You're not drinking, Max. You're not allowed to drink while you go.
Stella
we'll do that.
is the import, and Miller is the domestic. They only serve 2 beers.
And it's reasonably priced.
Oh,
all the concessions are reasonably priced.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brucey, what's your thoughts on the college basketball season that is now done?
wow. Well, it continues. I mean, look at this. The portal it kept going.
Sure.
So there's news there. Michigan, I thought, sort of readjusted the template here. I mean, when you can go into the portal like Michigan did and just find a brand new team the way they did. I mean, we knew that it had been going that way in recent years, but to bring basically a whole new team and win a national title with that team, that sort of changed the parameters of these things. But I can't help but notice, around the country here, how hard it's going to be for mid-majors to make a sustained breakthrough. It's like a one-shot deal with a lot of these places, and you can look in the transfer portal how better mid-majors have already been, picked apart. I mean, Santa Clara's top 3 guys are already gone. One's gone into the NBA draft, Alan Graves, who was a Louisiana product. But Michigan sort of confirms what we had known for a while, that this is sort of the way to do it now. And it's hard, Duke or a few others can still try to go all freshmen like that, or like Calipari did a decade ago when he was at Kentucky. But, nowadays, the way to go is sort of, the portal is the way to go, and Michigan has shown us how it's done.
What choice do you have, Bruce? Because according to the reports earlier this week, when the portal opened, there are about 1,500 players in the portal, which represents right at 50% of the players returning with eligibility. If half the doggone players are free agents, how do you, good luck trying to keep even 2/3 of your team together.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, it's a totally different frontier, and I can only imagine. I mean, I know how difficult it was for the coaches to recruit in the old manner, the way they had to do it, and going in high school, JC, or whatever they did, an occasional transfer. But this portal has changed everything around so much, and I think a lot of these guys jumping in early. I guess the portal goes through on April 21. A lot of these guys are jumping in early to make sure they can get some of that money before it gets all spent. But it is. I can't imagine how tough it is for some of these schools. You just have to remake your roster like every year. I mean, Michigan was celebrating. Cadeau says he's returning next year. In the old days, that would have been like an automatic thing. But nowadays, you have to hold your breath that your best guys will come back. It's a different world for sure.
Last year it was 2,300 players put themselves in the portal. They didn't all move. But
how many this year?
It's a little over 1,500 3 days in. Last year was 23.
Bruce, elite defensive team, though. A team that can win in a bunch of different ways. And also a little bit of going back in time as far as attack the rim and defend the rim type of team. Big men. Mara, who knew? You're from that area. One start, 14 minutes a game, and the most impactful player in college basketball. I know Axel's been outstanding this year, but Mara was such an impact.
No, it's improvement from last year, there must be some real coaching going on at Michigan too, because he actually had some moves around the bucket, not to mention his defensive prowess there. And so I give Mann his staff credit. That's the other thing. You're right. They defended the rim with abandon, all those bigs like that. And the fact he had Lendeborg and he had Morris Johnson up there, up on the front line from the start, sort of freed up Mara to just be more of a rim protector, at least on the defensive end. And that was what he did best, and it worked great for Michigan. But like you said, he's still on the floor just a little more than half of each game. But it was, defense can still win these things. It also just points out, money and spending on the portal is one thing, but being smart and getting the right guys in there is still a big deal too. Listen, we talked about this last month. LSU spent a lot of money on its roster this year too, and it didn't pan out. So you gotta get the right guys in there, get the right guys out of the portal, and have the right coach. And Michigan checks every box these days.
Seems like Dusty May's got the whole package. He has embraced this new era. He flat out said in the media availabilities in Indianapolis, he said it's easier now than ever to recruit. We used to waste 200 hours of invested hours and the guy that would flip on signing day. It's more defined now. So and he's also developing. There's some development, and there's also some vision to put these pieces into place to get them out. Now, he may take a bunch of different pieces next year and not come out with he set the bar pretty high, but I just think he's kind of got the whole package, man. The former student manager at Indiana, kind of just really putting it together. And maybe he's put together a staff that is maybe he's got a big man specialist. Maybe he's got a really strong bench coach. Whatever it is, they're not just building a roster. They're also well coached.
They are, and think back to Florida Atlantic, what he did there. Florida Atlantic to the Final Four? Are you kidding?
Yes.
How he had, how he did that. So, no, he is the package. But I'm also, just real quick, pivot here. I'm just looking at the coaching carousel, the way it's been spinning around in North Carolina. We didn't see that coming with Michael Malone. Here's a hire I would watch. Providence is a good Big East program, and there's something to be said about a good Big East program when you're not fighting with football. No, it's not big money like the Big Ten or SEC schools, but they don't have overhead like that. And places like Providence and Villanova, UConn, which, by the way, is they play football there, but the emphasis is basketball. They're the booster base does give them some money. This guy Providence hired, Brian Hodgson, is going to make a difference there. I will predict there in the tournament next year. He's already working the portal. From San Diego State, he got their best player, best defensive player, Bird from the Mountain West, and this kid out of New York he got. So, again, you get the right coach in there. Dusty May's proven that, and we'll see if Will Wade does that at LSU. He's going to try, and that'll be something to watch next season for sure.
Got to be the biggest criteria for a staff now is to find a guy, and maybe it's a head coach, maybe it's somebody else in their front office, that can put accurate values on players in the transfer portal. How much is this guy worth? How much did Michigan end up paying Luxembourg last year?
Well, there's varied reports.
So,
there's some that are really high.
Kentucky allegedly said no to paying him $9 million. I don't know what Michigan paid him, but if you
really high.
It
sounds
really,
like an excuse.
It sounds really high. It does. We had John Brady on the show 2 weeks ago, I think it was. He said, can you get a pro on your team for between $2 and $3 million? Okay, if you can. You got to identify that pro. $2 to $3 million. How many pros can you afford? Draftable guys. I don't know.
How would you feel if you're a North Carolina fan about that hire, Bruce?
A little ambivalent. I mean, they're going outside the box for sure. And what was strange about the Malone hire, I mean, I don't recall hearing his name come up in the rumor mill at all. I mean, a lot of it was Donovan when they're talking about an NBA coach. And by the way, the Bulls had just rearranged their front office, so I'd keep an eye on him maybe moving somewhere else. Maybe it's within the NBA. But it was all Tommy Lloyd. It was Dusty May. It was a few college guys. Byington got mentioned. You never heard Malone's name. This is, I don't want to say smacks of desperation for North Carolina, but they're obviously thinking we got to do something different here. Think about it. I guess Frank McGuire is the last coach in the 50s they hired there, who came from outside the North Carolina tree. Dean Smith was his assistant. Guthridge was Dean Smith's assistant. Matt Doherty was a North Carolina guy. Roy had been on Dean Smith's staff for years before he went to Kansas, and then Hubert. So they're going outside. This is the first time in over 70 years they've gone outside the family there. I don't know what I think from a North Carolina fan because it's a new era here, and it's not automatic that you get, look Kentucky, Kansas, UCLA's not quite what it was.
Right.
It's a little different era. We'll see.
Very interesting time in college athletics. There's no doubt about that. I mean, Nebraska goes to the Sweet 16, and who was it? Our Cinderella this year, the tournament, was Texas. Really small budget, poor little Texas. Huh? I mean, but the real mid majors, like you talked about, and I asked every one of our guests about the mid majors. Are they dead? What's going on? And this, you mentioned High Point was the mid major darling. They won a game. You mentioned Santa Clara. They gave us a close game. I mean, that's the mid-major highlights this year, man. The deck is stacked, man. It really is. I mean, UAB might have been that team, with Axel.
The formula for the mid-majors in the past is gone. Keeping your team together, getting older, you can't do that anymore. You got to come up with a new formula. Maybe it's junior college players. Maybe with the emphasis of the big players to go after the highest dollars in the transfer portal. Maybe you put a re-emphasis on high school recruiting and try to find some gems there. I don't know what the answer is, but the old formula ain't going to work for them anymore.
Well, the Royals and Pirates can make it to the World Series, but odds are against them. So, Bruce, you got anything in Major League Baseball, speaking of MLB, or any takeaways from the early part of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I'm looking at the Nationals here and look at the pitching staff. I got people who watch the Nats and say this is like a double-A bullpen they've got. And they've allowed 7 or 6 or more runs in 7 straight games. They're going to Milwaukee tonight. Milwaukee's actually played pretty well. And I would do maybe a run line there with the Milwaukee tonight. Okay. The Reds are hosting the Angels with Chase Burns. Burns has been really good at the start of the season. And Kohanowitz for the Angels, between home and road, his road numbers were absolutely abysmal last year. He got smoked his first road game this year. So maybe you look at the Reds there on the run line. Both of those are about a plus 105, plus 110 on the run line. Maybe the Giants tonight, a lot of black and orange in the field against the Orioles tonight. Let's see, Landon Roops had one good start, one bad start. Orioles strike out an awful lot. Maybe the Giants had 2 straight shutout wins over the Phillies, worth noting. One other note here, just the NBA tonight. There's one I like a lot is Charlotte. Detroit comes in, sewn up for the top seed in the East.
Right.
Cade Cunningham has come back, but I'm not sure how much he'll play tonight. There's no reason for Bickerstaff to waste some of his starters too much tonight. Charlotte is fighting. They're in the play-in field. You want to miss that 9-10 game if you can, and they have played. Boston's the only team that has really beaten them in the last month. That's a short price for Charlotte tonight. One other note. all these, I'm going to kind of miss, we've had a good run in the NBA lately because so many of these teams that have been tanking, and this is sort of, it's getting a lot of coverage right now. It's a disease in the NBA for these teams, once they're out of the playoff mix, to just kind of give up and try to, not try to win as hard and for a better draft pick. Listen, I went to a Raiders-Giants game at the end of last season, second to last week. Giants lose that game. They get the top pick in the draft. It applied to the Raiders, too. The Giants played that game like it was the Super Bowl. They destroyed the Raiders. They're trying, and that's what even the NHL, the bottom teams, they're still playing hard. This is a travesty in the NBA. So many of these teams. Who's paying to watch the Bulls and the Wizards this week? I mean, it's abysmal what's going on. And I know Adam Silver is worried about that. I kind of go back. Remember Sam Hinkie when he kind of modernized all this stuff, and he the whole tanking thing. He made it sort of a complete season-long approach. And I thought there was danger then. I said, you can't have that many teams doing this, or you're going to just ruin the product. I mean, teams have to try to win. I get the feeling a lot of these NBA teams not making the playoffs don't want to win. Look at some of the lineups they're putting out there. Look how they put these guys on the shelf, so many of their good players for the rest of the season. Utah, all their guys are out. Sacramento, all their guys are out. I don't know. Adam Silver's got something he's got to address here, and they're trying, but it just seems to keep getting worse. We'll see what they come up with works.
Yeah, you need to quit kissing a player's ass. I mean, get out there and make some tough decisions.
And you know what the players want right now? They want to play less than 65 games. They're like, these guys should be up for awards. They want to play less.
No.
They want to play less.
This is a problem when you're allowing your players to do this. And guess what? The season ticket holders in all these places, there's 9 teams tanking before the All-Star break. Come on, man. I mean, you expect one person to show up for the game? Give me a break. Thank you, Bruce. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you. Appreciate you hooking up with us last minute. Don't forget our friends at Total Maintenance. It's heating up. Today is a little bit warmer. Tomorrow is going to be even that much warmer. It's one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies since 1980. You call today, you will get service. Same-day service. Call today, get service today. Nobody sleeps hot when you call Total Maintenance at 480-1000. We're a factory-authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Dakin, and Rheem products. My buddy Lucas Ragusa put together a tremendous operation. They are extremely efficient, very professional. 480-1000 Total Maintenance.
Live at Rufino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Otten Hanny from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we also brought to you by Home Bank. Home Bank with an announcement this week that they're pleased to welcome Michael Dalbor as Vice President and Senior Commercial Relationship Manager here in Baton Rouge. The name sounds familiar. He's a former college baseball player at Nichols.
Michael.
Yeah, so he is going to be at the Corporate Boulevard location of Home Bank here in Baton Rouge. Good for business, good for life, and congratulations to Michael on his new position. Speaking of new positions, LSU officially announced Johnny Jones as one of Will Wade's assistants on the staff after earlier in the week announcing Rick Stansberry. So it is a veteran staff, 65 years old and 66 years old on Wade's bench.
Stansberry's been working at, we talk about, half of the participants in the Final Four this year. Where was the bulk of their recruiting source? It was the Eastern European League.
Yeah.
And Stansberry's got some connections over there. So there you go. And
he had spent 3 years on Penny Hardaway's staff at Memphis, and his son was on Wade's extended staff at NC State last year. So there's a connection there. Stansberry comes with an awful lot of SEC head coaching. He's 14 years at Mississippi State. But the biggest thing, and he's known as a good recruiter, but he's his own defense master. Has always been very, very good at zone defense. So that's what I remember about his stint at Mississippi State.
Well, Will's best defensive team at LSU was the team that was 16-2 in the league, and they had a rim defender. They could afford to make mistakes overextending, guarding the perimeter, guarding that three-point line. That's what Michigan was saying. I tell you, I was in Tuscaloosa for that Alabama. I was just – that second half, Alabama always gets off clean threes, huh? No. No, they tightened the screws up on that, and they just carried it on. The regional final where they smashed Tennessee, and then, they won it with defense. And when you have a rim defender, and Big B. Williams was that rim defender that year, and you heard Wes talk about some of the fives, the centers are going for the bigger prices in the transfer portal.
His best defense was actually his last season. They were top 10 in the country in KenPom defense. That was when they were getting a bunch of steals. They kind of went about it differently and switched and whatnot. So that was their best defense this last year.
And it was the year before that was when Cam Thomas left.
I can put up a debate for that, but go ahead. Statistically, I hear you.
59th his first year.
I know the statistics. I get it. Okay. I get it.
The year before that was the Cam Thomas year, because the Cam Thomas year they didn't play any defense.
No.
And then the following year they made a real emphasis on it, and they improved a great deal.
Completely switched what their strength was there.
We also been hearing. I've been kind of prowling around looking for names in the transfer portal that are coming in, and you get a lot of. All I can tell you is that we expect to hear something pretty soon, and he's fishing in very, very deep water, very expensive deep water. How's that? So see what that brings in.
And Johnny, who's been around the program for a long, long time, he had to hustle his supporters over the time, and he may have some guys that So
that's got to be it. I would think Johnny. The last year, the bottom fell out on Johnny. They were 2-16. It was the year after Simmons. Simmons basically sabotaged them. I'm sorry. At the end, it was an era bad feeling that next team was not good. The 4 years before that, though, they were not bad. No. He was 8 games over 500 in the SEC. It's not like they were, other than the last year, it's not like they were a laughingstock or anything like that. He brought in some talent. Mickey and Martin and Quarterman, and besides Simmons, there were some good players that came in here.
The NC State Johnny. Team that stole it from LSU in Pittsburgh that year beat Villanova in the next round. Went to the Sweet 16. They could have made that, but it was a poor defensive crew, and sometimes you could play. Defense is a lot of effort. That's what our current coach, said when he took the job the first time at the Student Union. Did he not? That was one of my. I remember that quote. Defense is 2/3 effort,
and rebounding is what, 80% effort.
Well,
90% effort on either end. So play good defense and you rebound.
So did Will succeed, Johnny, the first time? Okay.
Yeah.
Now he's hired him.
Well, right.
This is
peculiar.
This is new territory. We had to dig really deep to find out the guy from South Alabama got fired 10 years later.
The
they
whole
rehired
thing,
him.
Is peculiar. Well, Johnny's last team won 2 games. They didn't play any defense at all. And I told Will, hey, you double the number of wins next year. And he didn't care for that comment too much. That was the year they made the NIT.
He's going to put together a roster that's more competitive than that.
I would never make that same statement now. Not with the transfer portal being
no.
It's a different
point's
time.
Well, the expectation level was low. That's why, Will might not be the best fit for every program out there. For this program, it's hard to win basketball games at LSU. Yeah. It's hard. You have limited supporters, and you got to get them excited. And the excitement level translates into support. It's a no-brainer. Go to the break, Charlie. We're overdue.
Well, all right.
We've got Ace, who's 5-0 in Major League Baseball. He's going to give out some more picks.
Let's do that when we come back. Live at Rufino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Otten Hanny from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, let's go up to New York. Veteran handicapper Ace Seminara, who's on fire with this Major League Baseball right now. Another win, 5-0 to start the season on the bases. So, Ace, let's start off right there, brother. Let's go to your hometown Yankees against the Tampa Bay Rays. What are we looking at?
How you doing, Jimmy? Always great to be back on with the listeners. And, off to a great start with baseball. And we're going to go back to the well, We had them an opening game against San Francisco, had him another game with Freed. He was going to start this game, but they're going with Lewis Gill, G-I-L, but pronounced Gill. Everybody might remember him. He was the Rookie of the Year a couple of years ago. And then last year had a lat strain, was out for a few months, came back second half of the year. What did he do? He put up a 3.3 ERA in his last 11 starts of the year, almost like he hadn't missed a beat. So they're just so loaded at starting pitching. I had mentioned that opening day.
Yeah.
They got some guys on the DL, obviously. Jarrett Cole going to come back at some point. Rodon, who's an all-star. Clark Smith, who's got an array of pitchers. They just got a plethora, if I can steal a line from one of the great movies of all time, The Three Amigos. But they've got a plethora of starters waiting there. All right, and they're going up against Steven Matz, old ex-Met, old ex-Petrov Medford pitcher over here, actually Ward Melville High School, pitched in one of the great all-time high school games against Schroman years ago in Long Island here. So known him for a long time, Matz. Had a solid career, now bouncing around as a lefty. He's one of those guys that's going to last forever. But 2-0 so far in the season, his ERA at 4.09. Beat St. Louis, he beat Minnesota. Not exactly two powerhouse lineups. The Yankees have been shut down the last couple of nights by the Oakland A's. I think that's bad news for Steven Matz. 5.1 ERA in his career against the Yankees. Expect the Yankees bats to wake up. Their starters, 12 games this year. Every single starter has given up less than 3 runs. They've not gone over 3 runs given up in any one of those games. I expect Heel to pick up right where the other starters left off, their bats to pick up, and win this game easy. Give the Yankees on the road a gift when you get them on the road at this price, 131. Jump on the Yankees to continue the winning streak in baseball.
They still playing at their farm, their spring training facility down in Tampa?
Back in the new stadium now. They're back in the new stadium now. They had their opening game there last week, so they're back in the new stadium. Where in the years past, the Yankees didn't have too much success there, but those were also better Tampa Bay teams. They're on a different level of competition right now. And Jimmy, before we go, if I can, just remind your clients, your listeners out there, free picks right now I'm offering text service. Very simple, no hassle at all. Just text the words free picks to the phone number of 631-805-6165. You'll receive my top-rated free picks every day, whether it's a baseball play, NBA, again, getting down to the nitty-gritty here in NBA. Playoffs start next week with the get-in games. Could be my hockey source that I have. Could be a matchup in golf. Obviously, you remember we had Justin Rose, top 5 finish, playing very well right now. I'm watching him make a birdie putt right now on 13 to try to get the tie for the lead. And just off to the right. But a veteran like that, it's just going to be a great weekend with Justin Rose. But again, free pick service, 631-805-6165. Jump on board.
Back to the Yankees quickly, but by far the best run differential in the American League. I mean, the next closest is +5. Yankees have outscored their opponents collectively by 25 runs. So, there's a big difference from Big George to Little Steinbrenner, and this is kind of the days of old, man. They have depth in that lineup and also in their pitching, so they are a superior roster this year in the American League. So Heel on the mound tonight against Matz down in Tampa. Tricky down tonight and then Sunday is the final day of the regular season, so some maneuvering and things like that, but also some situational handicapping a lot in the NBA. I was fortunate enough to hit 2 games in the NBA last night on Otterlocks, and Wednesday night we were watching a competitive game. Cleveland, boy, what a third quarter they had against Atlanta as they pulled away and barely covered against the Atlanta Hawks. Now the return trip to Atlanta here. Atlanta's 8.5 over the Cavs.
And very good point, Jimmy, about bringing up that situational handicapping. You see this same matchup now, 2 nights later. And yes, everybody in the NBA playing tonight. Everybody has off tomorrow. Dark day in the NBA for tomorrow. And then the last game, day of the NBA, everybody plays again on Sunday. So what's the situation going in here tonight? Cleveland, the 4th seed. They could move up to the 3 seed over the Knicks. Why do that? If they do that, they potentially in the next round, you don't want to look ahead to any round and think that they're not going to get past, the 5 seed, which very well could end up being Atlanta. could very well be Orlando. All right, so there's jockeying for positioning there right now. Cleveland has no benefit winning this game. They're going to rest their starters. They're going to be wearing their finest duds all on the sidelines, avoiding any injuries. Atlanta wants to win this game to try and secure that sixth spot. They're only one game ahead right now. If they win the next two games today and win on Sunday, they will be the sixth seed and secure that spot and not have to be in the getting game. All right, they're only one game ahead right now of Orlando. So if they were to drop a game, Orlando could jump ahead of them. Absolutely a game that Atlanta needs. 25-10 since January 10th. You talk about a hot team. They've been playing fantastic basketball. I love the Atlanta Hawks in this situation. That line came out at 8.5. I think some people just didn't even bother to look into what the situation was because the line dropped, telling you that people were jumping Cleveland. Well, none of their starters are really going to be playing tonight. They have absolutely no reason to try to win this game. I think they're absolutely better off being the 4 seed and at some point in the next round facing Detroit. You don't want to have to pick your next opponent, but who do you want to play? Either Detroit in the next round, okay, with just getting back Cunningham, or the Celtics, who've been one of the hottest teams in the league, or the Knicks. I'm going to say that Cleveland doesn't want to see any one of those teams. They might very well just lay down tonight, and I love Atlanta in this situational handicapping. Atlanta minus 7.5 to just win in a laugher. They're going to win this game by 30 points.
Even a better number now, even at our local shop here, DraftKings outlet at the Queen and in Bally's. Again, 7.5 now, the Atlanta Hawks against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And a rematch of a game on Tuesday, March the 31st, a game where Portland crept a little bit closer to the Clippers. It's at 8-9 matchup. So what that means in the playoff seedings is you got 2 to win 1 if you're in the 8 spot, or you got to win 2 in a row to advance if you're the 9 spot. Clippers now with a 1-game lead over Portland. They're the 8. Portland's a 9. Now they go to Portland. Portland's a slight 1.5-point favorite here, Ace.
Absolutely, and I brought up all those points I'm talking about as well. Again, you got to be aware of the situation that's going on with the seeding and what that actually means. So, yeah, they're pretty much set that that's going to be the situation. Golden State is the 10th seed. Phoenix is the 7th. They're the 8-9. So it's just a matter of who's going to be the home team in that matchup next week. And you win the one game, you're automatically in. You lose, you get to go back home and face the loser of the 7-10 game, but why do you want to extend it to play another game? If the Clippers can put this one to bed tonight, if Portland can put this one to bed tonight, you know that both teams are going all out. I certainly understand, March 31st, Portland won that game, 114-104. Ty Lue pretty much came out and said that they were more physical, and he's challenging his team. All right, they've made some trades since the trade deadline. Getting Garland, unfortunately, he's got a toe issue, more than likely will not play tonight. Kawhi Leonard's been absolutely fantastic all year. Played more games than he's played this year in probably the last 10 years. All right? And get Benedict Mathurin from Indiana. Let's not forget how good he was last year off the bench for the Pacers, getting them to the finals. Picking up a guy like that, he's flat out said that this game is extremely important to them. They're going to go all out and win this game tonight. I like the veteran leadership when it comes down to late in the game. I like Kawhi Leonard to shut down Drew Holiday, who had 30 points in that last matchup, and not even let him sniff anywhere near 20 points. Kawhi Leonard tonight, the Clippers in a must-win game, obviously, for them to get that home win, get that win again next week. I fully would expect them to win that game again, and then wait to see what happens. They're going to end up facing the 1 seed, the Oklahoma City Thunder. See if maybe they can steal the game. I doubt that'll happen. I don't want to look too far ahead, but again, situational handicapping around this time of the year with the basketball schedule, it's different than it is in any other time of the year, and you have to be aware of those situations. So, I'll take the Clippers plus the 1.5 tonight.
It's real easy. Text free picks to the number 631-805-6165. That's 631-805-6165. Text free picks so Ace knows where you're coming from, and you can go from there. I mean, live betting for the Masters, NBA, the end of the regular season, some situational handicaps. MLB, we are just getting started and kind of getting a feel of MLB as well. So 5-0 so far on his picks in Major League Baseball on the show. Ace, great stuff as always, buddy. We will talk to you Tuesday. Good luck to you this weekend.
Best of luck. Let's hope Justin Rose is putting that green jacket on Sunday.
Okay.
And we're brought to you by the Thibodeau Store, the Pierre Part Store, open in La Rose and Lockport. Do-it-yourself season is here in the spring. Sprucing up the property a little bit. Painting supplies on special right now at the website, thethibodeaustore.com. You get to all 4 properties. Same-day pickup available at all 4 properties if you go to the website. And, of course, your lawn and garden tools are on special right now as we head into spring. Get those specials for you at thethibodeaustore.com. Outdoor cooking, outdoor power equipment, patio furniture available. Cordless power tools at thethibodeaustore.com. 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux, Highway 70 in Pierreport, open until 5:30 in Thibodaux daily. Also, if you're heading down to the coast, fishing supplies are plentiful. They're at the Thibodaux Store. The Thibodaux Store and the ThibodauxStore.com. Back to wrap it up here, live at Rufino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Otten Hanny from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Before we give you our final update here on the Masters, Jim, we got some good news with one of our colleagues.
Yeah, buddy. Looks like Colucci's dad doing better, improving. It's just very weak, but well, kind of a little infection and some colitis. So we're looking like with them. I believe things are going to work out just fine. So my buddy boy, Papa Colucci, he don't just bet the horses with anybody. Dynamite. That's his running partner, man. I mean,
Jimmy Walker, huh?
Yes, indeed. Legit.
Sam Burns just makes his first bogey of the day at number 5, so he drops back to 4 under par. Rory McIlroy just teeing off his 5 under par. He is the leader. Wyndham Clark, who is in the clubhouse, is 4 under par. Terrell Hatton, Justin Rose, Sam Burns all at 4 under. Brooks Koepka, who has a 6 birdie, 3 bogey day, is 3 under par, along with Shane Lowry, Jason Day, and Patrick Reed, who is through number 2. Scotty Scheffler at 2 under par, and he has birdied 2 of the last 5 holes to get himself to 2 under par. He is 3 shots off the lead.
So he's par for the day.
And Xander Schauffele is even for the day. He's 2 under par.
Just started.
For how many holes?
Just one.
Okay.
Just started.
I think he's in good position.
I think so. I like where Schauffele is. He's on a par 5 right now, so maybe he can birdie this and get to 3 under. But he's, like I said, anything under par is in play into the weekend. Maybe even honestly, would be in play
for the
tournament.
Rounds.
If you're in the day under par in red figures, I think you have a chance. Worth mentioning as well. Tyrrell Hatton at 4 under, the only live player currently under par.
So under par, I got the over-under at 8.5 golfers at the end of the day will be under par. Under par.
I think it'll be more than that. It's playing almost a shot and a half easier today than yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks to our friends here at Rufino's. Our typical Friday.
He hit his couples yesterday.
On Monday, we will be at Walk-Ons in Brewley. For Jordan back in the studio and all of us here, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.